students, in the previous lecture, we have discussed that charged particle, if it is moving parallel, then definitely there will be force experienced by that particle, and that will be parallel or opposite to the electric field depending upon the charged particle. In this session, we are going to learn motion of the charged particle perpendicular to the electric field. Now, this is positive charge and it is negative charge. Electric field is directed from positive to negative, and all the lines are separated by same distance. Therefore, here we can see that it is uniform electric field. Now, when this charged particle, say it can be negative charge is represented with red ink, positive charge is represented with blue ink. Now here, if we deal with negative charge, this negative charge will experience force in opposite direction to that of the electric field, and that is represented with red color arrow mark in downward direction. Now, when this negative charge enter into the electric field, by default, it has some velocity. I will be representing it with red. By default, this negative charged particle has some velocity. Say, let it be u initially. So, let velocity of charged particle initially be u. You are considering that its initial velocity is u. Now, when it is entering into the electric field, by default, it should travel in rightward direction because its initial velocity is right side. Now, because of the force experienced in downward direction, the particle from here take the path of red ink. It takes this path and it comes out from here, and finally its velocity be v. So in this particular case, if the charged particle is moving perpendicular to the electric field, then particle does not travel straight. It does not travel straight. Instead, it take motion in 2D. Motion in 2 dimension mean it is traveling along x-axis and as well as it is traveling along y-axis. Now, for example, if this negative charge you are dealing with, you can consider this as positive x-axis, negative x-axis, positive y-axis, negative y-axis. Now, if I take this initial velocity at the origin, this point, in which direction this particle is moving? It is moving in downward direction, right? Like this. It is traveling in this path. So therefore, here this velocity contain both magnitude along x-axis and magnitude along y-axis, right? So that charged particle will has both magnitude along x-axis and as well as y-axis. So finally, you can write this velocity as v bar is equal to, because it is traveling along x-axis length from here to here, and that magnitude will be u, because along x-axis there is no force acting on the charged particle. Therefore, initial velocity along x-axis is u. That velocity will be remained same as it is. So it is u into I cap, because along positive x-axis you can represent it with unit vector I cap, and plus finally when it is coming outward, final velocity at this position you can write it as vy, and that is in which direction? Minus y-axis. Therefore it is minus j cap, right? So this is how velocity finally can be represented with, right? Now Now coming to the positive charged particle. Now let us see, we are dealing with, so far we have learnt about negative charged particle. As force acting in downward direction, this charged particle will be moving downward. Similarly, if you are taking positive charged particle, I will represent it with blue ink. This is positive charged particle and its initial velocity is u. When this charged particle enter into the electric field, along x-axis there is no force. So you can write force along x-axis is equal to 0. Therefore, acceleration along x-axis is equal to 0. So final velocity will be equal to initial velocity, and this is along x-axis. So there is no horizontal increase in the velocity. Horizontal velocity will be remained same. Now coming to y direction, this positive charge will experience a force upward because it is in the same direction of electric field. So force along y direction will be equal to q into e. Therefore, acceleration along y direction can be written as q e divided by m. Now final velocity along y direction can be written as initial velocity along y direction is 0 plus acceleration along y direction is q e divided by m into how much time you are calculating. After what time you are calculating its velocity, that time you need to substitute in this equation so that you will be getting final velocity. Now finally, after some instant of time, final velocity can be written as initial velocity, that means velocity along x-axis in I direction plus velocity along y direction in j cap. This is j cap. This gives you velocity along x-axis, it is remained same. So simply I can write it as u, this is u I cap, plus velocity along y direction is q e divided by m into t, and this is j cap, right? This is the final velocity obtained by the charged particle when it is traveling perpendicular to the electric field. I hope this concept is clear. If at all a charged particle is starting at this position A, when it enter into the electric field, actual path should be along this AB. But instead, there is electrostatic force acting in downward direction. Therefore, this will be taking deviation and finally it come to this new position. Let it be C, right? And initial velocity at this particular point is only along x-axis. But final velocity will not be only along x-axis. It has both velocity along x-axis and y-axis. That I will be marking it like this. This is velocity along x-axis. I will write it as Vx. And velocity along y direction, I will write it as Vy. So velocity along y direction and velocity along x direction, I will be representing it this way. Now already we have learnt about, I already have told you velocity equations. Initial velocity of the charged particles, u along x-axis will be u, same as it is. Velocity finally will be u along x-axis I cap plus Vy, and this is j cap. Because it is positive charge, it will be in the same direction as that of the magnetic electric field. Now in this particular figure, we are dealing with this figure, right? So charged particle is moving downward. So I will be representing this with negative, minus j. Vx will be, however, remain same. Vy you can write it as, that means final velocity when it is coming out, you can write it as V final is equal to u I cap plus velocity finally will be equal to u plus at. That means vertically its velocity is 0. So it is 0 plus acceleration is q capital E divided by m into time taken t, and this is along minus j cap because it is downward. This is the final velocity of the charged particle. That is final velocity of the charged particle when it comes out. Now I want to find out how much distance it is covering along x-axis, how much distance it is covering along y-axis. Distance AB. Distance traveled along AB, that is along x-axis. Distance traveled along AB is equal to S is equal to ut plus half at square. You can use that. So u is u as it is because it is along x-axis. S is equal to ut plus half acceleration along x-axis into t square. But what is acceleration along x-axis? Acceleration along x-axis is equal to 0. This gives you AB is equal to half into, I'm sorry. Acceleration along x-axis is 0, right? So therefore, you can simply take this as AB is equal to U into T. And this is along x-axis. This is along x-axis. Now coming to next along y direction. Distance traveled along y direction, that is BC, is equal to S is equal to, you can use concept of S is equal to ut plus half at square. So that gives you velocity along y direction initially into t plus half into acceleration along y direction into t square. Now this is written as BC is equal to, along y direction initial velocity is 0 at this point. At this point it has no y direction. 0 plus half, and acceleration along y direction, you know it is q e divided by m into t square. So this is BC, and this is in which direction? And it is minus j cap. So finally, the net displacement AC can be written as AC bar is equal to AB bar plus BC bar. This gives you finally AB is nothing but UT, and this is along x-axis I cap, and along y direction it is minus because minus j is there here, half into q e by m into t square j cap. This is the net displacement of the charged particle which is moving in 2 dimensions. Students, in the previous 2 slides, we have learned about motion of the charged particle in the uniform electric field such that it is parallel to the electric field and perpendicular to the electric field. If the charged particle is traveling parallel to the electric field, it will be traveling in the same direction as that of the electric field if charge is positive. Similarly, if the charged particle is entering into the electric field perpendicular, it will take deviation. It travel in 2 dimensions, right? Now, in this particular session, in this particular slide, we are going to learn if you are projecting a charged particle in electric field. If you are projecting a charged particle in electric field, then what would happen? That is what we are going to discuss in this particular session. Now let us consider that oblique projection of a charged particle in an uniform electric field neglecting gravitational force. So acceleration due to gravity along x-axis, that means along y-axis we are considering it as 0. Neglecting the gravitational force, I am not considering gravitational force in this example. Later in next slide we will be considering gravitational force. Now here let me take this charged particle. Let me consider here is a charged particle and it is plus q. This charged particle is plus q. It is projected with some velocity u, making an angle, like let this angle be theta. It is making an angle theta with x-axis. It is projected, and electric field is vertically downward. Electric field is along downward direction, along y direction. Because of that electric field, what would happen to this charged particle? This charged particle, there will be it will be experiencing a force in y direction. As a result, slowly y directional component magnitude decreases and finally tend to become zero, and then it continue its motion in such a way the component along y direction, its magnitude goes on increases. So understand carefully. At this particular point, it has initial velocity both along x-axis and as well as y-axis. Now let me write that equation. Initial velocity is equal to, along x-axis it is u cos theta, and along y direction it is u sin theta. I'll now write it as u is equal to u cos theta I cap, because this is along x-axis. Recapitulate the concept of projectile motion in class 11th kinematics. Plus velocity along y direction is u sin theta, and this is in upward direction, so it is plus j cap. Now let me take this as equation 1. So along x-axis and y-axis, initial velocity is this. Now what happened to the velocity when it is going up? Velocity at this particular point, if you consider, like if I take at this point, along x-axis there is no force acting because electric field is along y direction. So u cos theta remains same as it is. And what about this y component? The magnitude of y component decreases. It will be vy. Now coming to this point, what happened to velocity along y direction? Its component becomes 0. Only along x-axis it will be component u cos theta left over. So simply you need to write down that acceleration along x-axis is equal to 0. Acceleration along y-axis will be equal to q capital E divided by m, and it is in which direction? It is in downward direction, so I will be representing it with minus j cap. See, electric field is in which direction? Downward. This is minus j. So acceleration will be in which direction? Downward. So acceleration along y direction downward, minus j, I am writing it as. Ax and ay is noted now. So as acceleration along x-axis is equal to 0, what happened to x component? Velocity along x-axis is uniform, and velocity along y-axis is non-uniform. Velocity along y-axis is non-uniform. At the highest point, vy is equal to 0, and final velocity v can be written as, only along x-axis it has magnitude, it is u cos theta, and this is I cap plus 0. So at the highest point, its value will be only u cos theta, that is along x-axis. And when it is coming down, what would happen to this when it comes down over here? You can write that as, at this point, velocity along x-axis will be remained same, it is u cos theta, and velocity along y direction it will be u sin theta, but in which direction? In negative x-axis minus j. So finally, when it is coming to this end, final velocity, because both levels are equal, both levels along x-axis and y-axis are equal initially and finally, final velocity will be u sine theta, but it is in which direction? Downward. Magnitude here will be u sine theta, and this is minus j cap. Whereas in this case, at point O, velocity will be in upward direction, right? So that upward direction, it is u sine theta, it is positive, right? Clear? Is the concept clear? I hope this concept should be clear. When a charged particle is projected in uniform electric field, when a charged particle is projected in uniform electric field, it take parabolic path. It take parabolic path, right? And equation of parabola, you should remember, it is y is equal to ax minus bx square. This equation directly I am using from kinematics, where a is equal to tan theta and b is equal to you can write it as 1 divided by 2 u square into cos square theta. I think this is a little bit wrong. I think so. Do anyone remember that? And y can be written as ut plus half a t square. Velocity along y-axis will be initially it is u sine theta, and finally at this highest point it is 0, and coming here it will be the same value. So distance traveled y is equal to ut plus half a t square. I'm sorry, here it will be u sine theta into t minus half into QE by m into t square. Take this t and substitute here. So you can write y is equal to u sine theta into t can be written as x divided by u cos theta minus of half into QE by m into t square can be written as x square divided by u square cos square theta. This u and u gets cancelled. From here, a is equal to sine theta by cos theta is equal to tan theta, and b can be written as, here there is no cancellation terms. So finally this total parameter become QE divided by 2m, m is mass of the charged particle, into u square into cos square theta, right? These are the values of A and B. So whenever a charged particle is projected in uniform electric field, in that particular case, it will take the path of parabola, and those equations for A and B are derived here. That is the value of A and B, right? And similarly, we have equations for time of ascent, time of descent. All those equations will be same as it is inherited. Time of ascent is equal to u divided by g is acceleration due to gravity, but here you should replace it with QE by m. This is time of ascent. And time of descent is equal to under root 2 h divided by g. G is replaced with QE divided by m, right? And h maximum height traveled is equal to, h maximum is equal to u square sine square theta by 2g. So that gives you same value, u square sine square theta divided by 2 into G should be replaced with QE divided by M. Similarly, you can even take, you can write down equation for time of flight and equation for range. All these equations will be same inherited from kinematics, but G should be replaced with QE by M in this particular session. Students, in the previous slide, we have neglected gravitational force, but now we will not neglect gravitational force. Gravitational force is also present in this particular example. Now, let me take, this is x-axis, this is y-axis, and you are projecting a particle. It takes only 5 minutes, students. Please wait with me. It takes only 5 minutes. From here, particle is being projected with some initial velocity u. This will be taking a path like this. Definitely here also it takes path of the parabola, and velocity here will be u cos theta. Velocity here will be u cos theta. And at this bottommost point, this will be the velocity. It will have x component and as well as y component. It is u cos theta, and along y direction it will be u sin theta, and this will be minus j. And here it is velocity u sin theta, and it is plus j. Right. Now we have two fields acting over here. One is gravitational field. There is gravitational force acting in downward direction, and along with that there is electrostatic field which is acting in downward direction. Right. Two fields we are now considering. In the previous case, Fg I have took it as 0. Now there is Fe value also. Therefore, F net along y direction will be equal to Fg plus Fe, and F net along x-axis will be equal to 0. Therefore, acceleration along x-axis is equal to 0. Now, what about acceleration along y direction? F net is equal to ma. M into a net is equal to Fg should be written as m into acceleration due to gravity plus, what is Fe? Q E divided by m. From this equation, I am writing it here. Now, acceleration net can be written as m by m, it is g, plus this is left over with I'm sorry, Fe is QE. I'm sorry, here this m should not be there. This is QE, and it is QE divided by, bringing that m over here, it will be m. This is the net acceleration. So wherever g is there in kinematic equations, you replace that with g plus QE by m. So what we do, equation for time of ascent, u by g, right? So it will be u sin theta divided by, g should be replaced with g plus QE by m, and time of descent is equal to under root 2h divided by g plus QE by m. Path is parabola, that will not change. It is ax minus bx square. A value, b value will be same as it is, like which we have derived in the previous case, but wherever g is there, you should replace it with g plus QE by m. Similarly, h maximum is equal to u square sin square theta divided by 2 into g should be replaced with g plus QE by m. And equation for range, r is equal to 2u sin theta divided by g should be replaced with g plus QE by m. Sorry, u sin 2 theta by So this is equation for range, right? Like this, you can just, I'm sorry, here it should be u square. So this is how you can use kinematic equations and replace g with g plus qe by m, so that you can find out all the kinematic terms. Time taken you can calculate, final velocities you can calculate, velocity at any point you can calculate.